up, everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today this is the 8th day of Vlogmas. So what I'll be doing is continuing on sharing my 23 most top anticipated releases of 2021. So please stay tuned. I am back, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. So like I said, I'm going to be continuing on what I did yesterday, which is pretty much give you my 23 top most anticipated releases of 2021. So yesterday I gave you at least 10, so today I'll be giving you 13. So let's go ahead and get started. So the next book that I'm highly anticipating on releasing in 2021 is a book that I'm so pumped on reading, especially from this author as well, and that is The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. And Brittany Morris, her debut book was Slay, which was, I believe, was a hit. It was a great book. It had a different approach as well, which I really loved, especially when it comes to gamers and everything like that. And then she also mentioned that what inspired her to write the book itself was the Black Panther when the movie came out. So I'm really excited to read her second book. And so The Cost of Knowing, this comes out on April the 6th. So you do have time to read the first book if you haven't done already. But for this book, it states here, Dear Martin meets They Both Die at the End, in this gripping, evocative novel about a Black teen who has the power to see into the future, whose life turns upside down when he foresees his younger brother's imminent death, from the acclaimed author of Slay. And it says, 16-year-old Alex Rufus is trying his best. He tries to be the best employee he can be at the local ice cream shop, the best boyfriend he can be to his amazing girlfriend, Talia, the best protector he can be over his little brother, Isaiah. But as much as Alex tries, he often comes up short. It's hard for him to be present when every time he touches an object or person, Alex sees into its future. When he touches a scoop, he has a vision of him using it to scoop ice cream. When he touches his car, he sees it years from now, totaled and underwater. When he touches Talia, he sees them at the precipice of breaking up, and that terrifies him. Alex feels these visions are a curse, distracting him, making him anxious and unable to live an ordinary life. And when Alex touches a photo that gives him a vision of his brother's imminent death, everything changes. With Alex now in a race against time, death, and circumstances, he and Isaiah must grapple with their past, their future, and what it means to be a young Black man in America in the present. So this sounds like a really deep book that I'm definitely looking forward to reading. I definitely know there's going to be some tears shed reading this book, but I'm definitely all for it, and I cannot wait when it comes out in 2021. And the next book that I'm highly anticipating on reading in 2021, and of course releases in 2021, is the second book of A River of Royal Blood. And this book is called A Queen of Gilded Horns, and this is by Amanda Joy. So as you all know, they did a lot of cover changes, so a lot of people were very upset with that fact, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to keep my original copy, and then I know they won't match, but it's okay. I think for this year alone with the cover changes it's crazy when they're already in like a series has already been like published and everything, and then they go ahead and change it up, and then another book comes out and it matches the currently released published books, like the book covers and everything. So I know people are like so upset about that with their books not matching, but it's okay. So this book is the second one once again, and this book comes out March the 16th. So obviously if you have not read the first book, you should definitely read it before this one comes out, because you do have time. But for this, the synopsis, it says, in this sequel to A River of Royal Blood, Ava and Issa must find a way to work together if they want to save their queendom in the thrilling conclusion to this royal fantasy duology. Now on the run, Ava is desperate for answers about her transformation and her true heritage, along with Akito, a small contingent of guards, and the sister she could not kill. Ava flees Ternane in hopes of finding friends and allies to the north, not to mention Basha, to help her decide what to do next. Princess Issa is a difficult, unremorseful captive, and Ava knows better than to trust her sister, but she wants to. Despite their history, Ava is convinced that to survive the growing unrest in the queendom, she and her sister must make peace. Since the entwining ceremony, Ava's and Issa's lives have been bonded, and each can only die by the other's hand. This perhaps provides an opening for a truce and a more hopeful future for both the sisters and the queendom, if only Issa would see reason and give up the battle for the throne. With the two princesses on the with the two princes on the run, the queendom of Mare is on the brink of a revolution, and without Bacha to guide and train her magic, Ava must find a way not only to survive her own metamorphosis, but to unite all the people of Mire, including her sister, by finally taking the ivory throne. So, oh my gosh, I know I'm going to be crying at the end of this book when it comes out, because it's going to be the end of me being part of this world, which I believe the first book was absolutely amazing. I was able to get an arc of that by Penguin Teen, and I loved it so much. It was a very, very great read, a 5 out of 5 stars for me. So I know this book is definitely going to be pretty much stepping up. I feel like there's going to be even more action than the first book itself. So this is another book that I'm highly anticipating on. And like I said, this comes out March the 16th, you guys. So if you haven't read the first book, I suggest you do so before this one comes out. Or if not, you can just binge read it. Next book that I just cannot wait for, and I believe it was supposed to come out this year, I think, but it got pushed back into 2021. This is going to be the third book of the Nightmares verse by L.L. McKinney. And this one is going to be called A Crown So Cursed. And this comes out January the 19th. So earlier, the first month of 2021, which is my birthday month, if you have not known that already. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book, and I want to know more and get into the Nightmare verse. And of course, this is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. I have 2 of the books right here that I have read them, and I love them so much. So I would like to say, L.L. McKinney, you're doing your thing, and I love this book. I love everything about this. And also, Alice is somebody that looks like me, which I really love so much, and I'm able to pretty much see Alice in my eyes or in her eyes, if that makes sense, of that world. You know, able to get somebody looking like me as Alice in Wonderland is pretty dope. I really love it. But anyways, let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. So it says, in the third book in L.L. McKinney's Nightmareverse trilogy, Alice gets one last chance to save Wonderland from itself. Alice and the gang are trying to recover from recent events, but members of her crew start having weird dreams, the same dreams. It seems the evil in Wonderland may not be as defeated as they thought, because someone's building an army of nightmares to attack the mortal world. But before Alice jumps into battle, she discovers she has a personal connection to Wonderland, and she must face what it means for the fight ahead. So this is the conclusion of this trilogy, and oh my gosh, the Nightmareverse, you guys, is so amazing. If you not have read the books, I recommend them highly. They will not disappoint you. They are great reads. It's also more, it has that sense of today. It's not historical fiction or anything right now, or anything like that particularly. It jumps right into the present of today with hip hop, everything like that, the culture, black culture, everything like that. So it's definitely in the current present, I would say. And it's definitely a book that I would definitely recommend to anyone and everyone who wants to read an Alice in Wonderland retelling with a black girl on the cover who is Alice. So yeah, definitely looking forward to reading this in January, and I can just let you know right now, I'm going to be so swamped with books in January and February alone, because so many books are coming out those 2 months. So my TBRs are going to be insane. So this next book is a book that I'm definitely looking forward to reading and jumping right back into this world. It is, of course, the second book of the Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron, and this one is going to be called Reaper of Souls. And of course, as you can see, like, the cover is gorgeous. I love the red. I love her outfit. I love her hair. Oh my God. It's everything. But anyways, this book comes out none other than February the 18th. Like, literally, like I said, January and February is going to be insane for me, and my TBR is not going to be crazy, but I'm loving it. I'm just going to have a ball in January, February, because these books is coming out and I am loving it. But anyway, so for this book, it says, after so many years yearning for the gift of magic, Aura has the one thing she's always wanted, at a terrible price. Now the last surviving witch doctor, she's been left to pick up the shattered pieces of a family that betrayed her, a kingdom in shambles, and long buried secrets about who she is. Desperate not to repeat her mother's mistakes, Aura must return to the tribal lands to search for help from the remnants of her parents' people. But the Demon King's shadow looms closer than she thinks. And as Ara struggles to unravel her connection to him, defeating him begins to seem more and more impossible, if it's something she can bring herself to do at all. Set in a richly imagined world inspired by spine-tingling tales of voodoo and folk magic, Kingdom of Souls was lauded as masterful by School Library Journal in a starred review. This explosively epic sequel will have readers racing to the can't-miss conclusion. So already I'm trying to figure out more about Ara. I want to know more about her family and her history, because she has these powers now, and you wonder how everything's connected, especially with her mom and also her father as well. So yes, I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. This comes out, like I said, it comes out literally in February the 18th to be exact. And so I am all for it, and I'm definitely highly anticipating this one as well. This next book, I'm highly anticipating on reading it. I have been loving her books. I've read her previous books before, and this is the third book that she has written that I'm anticipating on reading, and it's dealing with like historical fiction. So I will let you know it's more historical fiction, but it's pretty good. It keeps me intrigued, so I do enjoy reading it. And this is going to be The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwrecks by Mackenzie Lee. So this is the third book of the Montague siblings. I've read all the other two books, which they're up there. So we have The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. So this is the third book that I'm highly anticipating on reading, and this one comes out April the 27th. So this was also a book that was supposed to come out this year, but it got pushed back, which is okay. It gave me more room to read some other books this year. So, you know, I was able, you know, as long as it's coming out, I'm happy. So for this book, it says, return to the enchanting world of the Montague siblings in the finale to New York Times bestselling and Stonewall honor-winning series, featuring a teenage Adrian Montague as he desperately seeks the now adult Monty and Felicity, the older siblings he never knew he had. The sole heir to his family's fortune, Adrian Montague desperately wants to be free from his father's high expectations, the grief of losing his beloved mother, and the constant war being waged inside his mind. Adrian was diagnosed with hysteria at a young age and has always been kept a secret, but when he has a breakdown at his engagement party, the public learns Adrian's worst fear. He might not be fit to run the Montague estate. Thankfully, Adrian is given an opportunity to avoid the impending scandal, a trip to the Caribbean to claim the last of his mother's possessions. But along the way, Adrian discovers another secret lurking in his family tree. He is actually the youngest of 3 children. His sister Felicity and brother Monty went missing over a decade ago. Now Adrian has the chance to find them and offer to pass the estate back to the rightful heirs. Adrian expects to win his long-lost brother over with the promise of wealth and inheritance, while dreaming of a quiet life where Adrian doesn't feel like a burden to anyone. But when Adrian finally tracks him down, Monty refuses to return home. The only thing he can convince Monty of is to accompany him across the ocean as an act of tribute to their mother, hoping that during the voyage he can persuade Monty into taking the weight of inheriting the estate off his shoulders. When they reach the destination, Adrian and Monty find something hidden in their mother's belongings, a clue pointing to a valuable artifact that could potentially save the Montague siblings from a curse that threatens their lives. But to retrieve it, they must chase an infamous myth through a wild sugar fields of Barbados to the haunting streets of New Orleans to mysterious uncharted islands off the edge of the map. So this is something that I'm definitely looking forward to reading. Like I said, it deals with a lot with historical fiction, but it's also very interesting and intriguing as well. Like there's always action going on. I definitely I love the style of writing as well. This next book, now I'm going to let you know, I'm really hyped up for this book. I'm in love with the cover because it has a plus size woman on the cover. So I am all for this book, and this is going to be the first book that I'm going to be reading from this author. She has written many other great works of books and everything like that, but this is gonna be the first book and probably will make me even jump into her earlier books. But that is Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson. So as you can see, the cover is beautiful with the green. I love her hair. You got, I think it's either box braids or Senegalese twists. Anyways, it still looks good and dope. I just love this, and as you can tell, I think it's gonna be like a rom-com, like a rom-com, so romance and comedy. But I'm all for this book, and this book comes out February the 2nd. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. Like I said, this is the first book that I'm going to be reading by Renee Watson. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting to know her work, and just going to be enjoying this book because it definitely looks really good. So it says, from New York Times best-selling and award-winning author Renee Watson comes a new YA, a love story about not only a romantic relationship, but how a girl finds herself and falls in love with who she really is. When Nala Robertson reluctantly agrees to attend an open mic night for her cousin sister friend Amani's birthday, she finds herself falling in instant love with Ty Brown, the MC. He's perfect, except Ty is an activist and is spending the summer putting on events for the community, when Nala would rather watch movies and try out the new seasonal flavors at the local creamery. In order to impress Ty, Nala tells a few tiny lies to have enough in common with him. As they spend more time together, sharing more of themselves, some of those lies get harder to keep up. As Nala falls deeper into keeping up her lies and into love, she'll learn all the ways love is hard and how self-love is revolutionary. In Love is a Revolution, plus-size girls are beautiful and get the attention of the hot guys. The popular girl clique is now shallow but has strong convictions and substance, and the ultimate love story is not only about romance, but about how to show radical love to the people in your life, including to yourself. So this book is definitely something right up my alley. It has to deal with a lot of music, but also music like rap, hip-hop, art, stuff like that. It also deals with love, which I really, really enjoy. But I also love the fact that with this main character, Nala Robertson, she's able to find herself even through all the lies that she has created, and also feel like this book also will be very inspiring because it will tell you and show you of being true to yourself is enough and you are enough. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. Like I said, this comes out in February the 2nd. This next book, I cannot wait for when it comes out. This sounds very interesting and I'm very intrigued about it, and that is Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. So this sounds something like really cute. I love the I love the cover. It is really cute. Of course, we have characters of color, black characters, which I'm all for. And this comes out May the 4th. So I haven't read anything by this author, but I definitely this cover already is very intriguing, and I'm just going to go ahead and read the synopsis and share it with you just because I'm interested in learning more about this book myself. So it says, Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by debut author Joya Goffney is the story of an overly enthusiastic list maker who is blackmailed into completing a to-do list of all her worst fears. It's a heartfelt, tortured contemporary YA high school romance with elements, epistolary elements. Fans of Jenny Han's To All the Boys I Loved Before and Christina Forrest's debut I Want to Be Where You Are will love the juicy secrets, leap off the page sexual tension, and the enemy to lover romantic arc. Quinn keeps lists of everything from the day she's ugly cried to things that I would never admit out loud to all the boys she'd like to kiss. Her list keeps her sane. By writing her fears on paper, she never has to face them in real life. That is, until her journal goes missing. An anonymous account posts one of her lists on Instagram for the whole school to see and blackmails her into facing 7 of her greatest fears, or else her entire journal will go public. Quinn doesn't know who to trust. Desperate, she teams up with Carter Bennett, the last known person to have her journal, in a race against time to track down the blackmailer. Together, they journey through everything Quinn's been too afraid to face, and along the way, Quinn finds the courage to be honest, to live in the moment, and to fall in love. So this sounds like a nice romantic YA book that I'm definitely looking forward to read. Like I said, it sounds really cute, and I'm definitely can't wait for it to come out on May the 4th. So this next book that I cannot wait to read is definitely, I saw the cover and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta read this book. It's from an author who, like I said, so her name is Asha Bromfield, and she played one of the roles of like the Pussycats in the Riverdale TV series, and this is her first book. So I once I saw, like I said, the cover, as you can see right now, it is beautiful, and that's what intrigued me on to wanting to read this book. So this book is called Hurricane Summer. So like literally, like I said, the cover is very intriguing. It's beautiful. I love it. And this book comes out May the 4th. So for this book, it says, Sometimes the Storm is Inside of You, the powerful and emotional debut novel from Riverdale and Lock and Key actress Asha Bromfield that deals with colorism, classism, young love, the father-daughter dynamic, and what it means to discover your own voice in the center of complete destruction. So, she literally just was on Riverdale, like literally, and now she has written a debut book, which, like I said, the cover is gorgeous. So I look forward to when this book comes out. This next book is a book that I really wasn't expecting to come out at all. The last time I read a book by her was years ago, like when I was in high school. So this is like a book that is like a companion to the first book I think that she did for this one. But this book is called The Life I'm In by Sharon G. Flake. So this book looks beautiful. I love the cover. I love the purple. It just looks amazing. And this book comes out January the 5th. So for this book, it says the powerful and long anticipated companion to The Skin I'm In. So that's the book that I was just previously telling you about, The Skin I'm In, which I read all the way when I was back in high school. So it says the powerful and long anticipated companion to The Skin I'm In, Sharon Flake's best-selling modern classic, presents the unflinching story of Char, a young woman trapped in the underworld of human trafficking. My feet are heavy as stones when I walk up the block, wondering what I can't find my old self. In The Skin I'm In, readers saw into the life of Malika Madison, a teen who suffered from the ridicule she received because of her dark skin color. For decades, fans have wanted to know the fate of the bully who made Malika's life miserable, Char. Now, in Sharon Flake's latest and unflinching novel, The Life I'm In, we follow Charlize Jones, who, with her raw, blistering voice, speaks the truths many girls face, offering insight to some of the causes and conditions that make a bully. Turned out of the only home she has known, Char boards a bus to nowhere when she is lured into the dangerous web of human trafficking. Much is revealed behind the complex system of men who take advantage of vulnerable teens in the underbelly of society. While Char might be frightened, she remains strong and determined to bring herself and her fellow victims out of the dark and back into the light, reminding us why compassion is a powerful cure to the ills of the world. Sharon Flake's best-selling Coretta Scott King award-winning novel, The Skin I'm In, was a game changer when it was first published more than 20 years ago. It redefined young adult literature by presenting characters, voices, and real-world experiences that had not been fully seen. Now Flake offers readers another timely and radical story of a girl on the brink and how her choices will lead her to either fall or fly. So this sounds definitely something that I look forward to reading. This is the companion book of The Skin I'm In, which I'm definitely looking forward to reading more about this character and everything like that. And then also it is relevant today because there's still currently human trafficking and and there's been a lot of missing children as well, which I feel like that is also part of the human trafficking. A lot of young boys and a lot of young women who are constantly missing every single day. So I feel like what Sharon G. Flake is doing is definitely bringing more awareness to this issue across the entire world, and we need to put a stop to it. We need to put an end to it. We need to do something. And the next book that I'm looking forward to reading is called Me, Moth by Amber McBride. So this is a book that I just found off of Twitter. It was posted on Twitter, and so like literally when I saw the cover, I'm like, okay, I definitely got to read it. So this book comes out on August the 17th, and just look at the cover alone. I love the butterfly. I love seeing a black girl on these book covers. Let me tell you, especially with the hair and stuff, like this, I'm just loving it. And so for this book, it states here, a debut YA novel in verse that is both a coming of age and a ghost story. Moth has lost her family in an accident. Though she lives with her aunt, she feels alone and uprooted until she sees Sani, a boy who is also searching for his roots. If he knows more about where he comes from, maybe he'll be able to understand his ongoing depression. And if Moth can help him feel grounded, then perhaps she too will discover the history she carries in her bones. Moth and Sani take a road trip that has them chasing ghosts and searching for ancestors. The way each moves forward is surprising, powerful, and unforgettable. Here is an exquisite and uplifting novel about identity, first love, and the ways that our memories and our roots steer us through the universe. So this book is definitely something that I definitely look forward to read. It's written in verse as well, so that's also a plus, is another plus to this book of why I definitely want to read it. It's definitely also talking about discovery of yourself and learning more about your ancestors and your history. As you all know or have not known, a lot of, like, especially Black people in America don't really know their roots. They don't know much about their ancestors. I know for my ancestors on my dad's side, we are from Africa, and we were slaves in Georgia. Literally, my family that still lives in Georgia now and live in Georgia today, which they live in Moultrie, Georgia, which is further south, way down south, farther south than Atlanta, and they were deep in, in the country, and they had dealt with pretty much their land being taken away from them and everything like that. So literally, some of my family moved up north, and that's how we are. The Bridges family is in Ohio now. But literally, I think it's great to try to find self-discovery and knowing who you are. And I feel like you know who you are by knowing your history, your family's history as well. Now, this next book, I did not know was coming out next year. Like, literally, I did not know. I did not know that another book was going to even exist, because it's been so long. So this book is the second book of the coldest winter ever by Sister Souljah. And so the second book is called Life After Death. So literally, I haven't read The Coldest Winter since, like, when I was in high school. The Coldest Winter Ever since I was in high school. So I think I might actually reread this before I read this second book, but it's been a long time coming, and this book comes out March the 2nd, so that definitely gives me some time to reread The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. But for this one, it says, the stunning and long anticipated sequel to the Sister Souljah's million copy bestseller, The Coldest Winter Ever, Winter Santiago, is back. 20 years ago, Sister Souljah's debut novel, The Coldest Winter Ever, became a best-selling cultural phenomenon. Fans fell in love with the unforgettable Winter Santiago, daughter of a prominent Brooklyn drug-dealing family who captivated her lovers, friends, and enemies with her sexy street smarts. For 2 decades, fans have begged for answers about what happened to Winter. Now all is revealed in Sister Souljah's page-turning sequel, filled with her trademark passion, danger, temptation, and adventure. With her jail sentence coming to a close, Winter is ready to step back into the spotlight and reclaim her throne. So, like I said, it's been a long time coming. It's been so many years since I read the first book, so I really was not expecting this book to come out. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. So, like I said, March the 2nd. So if you want to reread the first book, I suggest you do so, because I'm going to do that as well. And also, maybe I should do like a buddy read for this book. So let me know down below what you think, if I should, or if you want to do a buddy read with me, reading the first book, and also when the second book comes out, we can buddy read that as well. So let me know down below what you think about that. And so the next book that I'm definitely looking forward on reading is going to be a romance book. It's going to be the third book, and that is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. Oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to reading this book, because this is also dealing with, of course, the Brown sisters, and we're going to be knowing more about Eve. So she's the youngest out of all 3 sisters, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book. This book comes out March the 9th, so if you haven't read the other 2 books, I suggest you do so. But I read both of the books, and I gave them my honest review about them. I will leave that link up above if you want to check out that video. But I read both of her books this year, and they were absolutely adorable and amazing, and I loved it so much. They were very entertaining. I love the romance and everything. It was just so cute. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this one. And the cover is just beautiful too. As always, all the books are beautiful. But anyways, it says, in Act Your Age, Eve Brown, the flightiest Brown sister, crashes into the life of an uptight B&B owner and has him falling hard, literally. Eve Brown is a certified hot mess. No matter how hard she strives to do right, her life always goes horribly wrong. So she's given up trying. But when her personal brand of chaos ruins an expensive wedding, someone had to liberate those poor doves. Her parents draw the line. It's time for Eve to grow up and prove herself, even though she's not entirely sure how. Jacob Wayne is in control, always. The bed and breakfast owner's on a mission to dominate the hospitality industry, and he expects nothing less than perfection. So when a purple-haired tornado of a woman turns up out of the blue to interview interview for his open chef position, he tells her the brutal truth, not a chance in hell. Then she hits him with her car, supposedly by accident. Yeah, right. Now, his arm is broken, his B&B is understaffed, and the dangerously unpredictable Eve is fluttering around trying to help. Before long, she's infiltrated his work, his kitchen, and his spare bedroom. Jacob hates everything about it, or rather he should. Sunny, chaotic Eve is his natural-born nemesis. But the longer these two enemies spend in close quarters, the more their animosity turns into something else. Like Eve, the heat between them is impossible to ignore, and it's melting Jacob's frosty exterior. So, enemies to lovers. I love this. And he gets hit by a car. This is definitely going to be something that I'm definitely looking forward to read. Oh, I'm all for this book. Like I said, the first two books was amazing. I know this one is definitely going to be awesome as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. And once again, this book comes out March the 9th. So if you haven't read the two books yet, I suggest you do so before this one comes out. Because literally the writing is amazing. The action is great. The romance is also, it's great and it's amazing. And the books and the book covers, let me tell you, they are stunning as well. So definitely looking forward to reading this book and when it comes out. Yay! And so last but not least, this is going to be the last book that I'm anticipating, but who knows, there might be more books I don't know about that'll be coming out in 2021. So this book, I believe, is like a romance book, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book, and this is called Accidentally Engaged by Farrah Heron. And this book comes out on March the 2nd. So like the cover got me, and so that's what intrigued me to wanting to know more about the book and definitely put it on my radar as to a book that I want to read in 2021. So it says, Rina Maji doesn't love her career, her single status, and most of all, her family inserting themselves into every detail of her life. But when caring for her precious sourdough starters, Rina can drown it all out. At least until her father moves his newest employee across the hall, with hopes that Rina will marry him. But Nadim's not like the other Muslim bachelors du jour that her parents have dug up. It says, if the Captain America body and the British accent weren't enough, the man appears to love eating her bread creations as much as she loves making them. She sure as hell would never marry a man who works for her father, but friendship with a neighbor is okay, right? And when Rina's career takes a nosedive, Nadim happily agrees to fake an engagement so they can enter a couple's video cooking contest to win the artisan bread course of her dreams. As cooking at home together brings them closer, things turn physical, but Rina isn't worried. She knows Nadim is keeping secrets, but it's fine. Secrets are always on the menu where her family is concerned, and her heart is protected. She's not marrying the man. But even secrets kept for self-preservation have a way of getting out, especially when meddling parents and gossiping families are involved. So, like I said, this is definitely another book that I'm highly anticipating on reading in 2021. It sounds very cute. I love everything about it with the fake engagement. That's just crazy, but I'm crazy enough to read it because it does sound really amazing, and I look forward to reading it. And I look forward when this book comes out once again, March the 2nd. So that is it, you guys. That is all the books that I'm highly anticipating on reading, and also one of the book releases that I'm anticipating that's going to be releasing in 2021. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya!